Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the studio. Chad Rosema here with you on a Thursday night. Here to partake in the pregame show along with my pal, John Rallis, before I head upstairs to call the action. John, we had Wednesday off, able to kind of recharge. How was your day off?
Just business as usual. Did some work, did some handicapping for the weekend, and just excited for the next few weeks like everybody else.
Nice, yeah. Lots to look forward to this week, and we'll have more on that a little bit later on. I had a great Wednesday. I was able to take in a lunch with our good pal Ken Middleton.
How's he doing?
And Dan Loisel. Good. Yeah, no, it was nice to get together with those guys. Obviously, two of the very best at their craft. Just to chat and have some good laughs. It was a great time. So great to see Kenny and of course, Danny as well.
Yeah, I got to meet Dan, I think maybe a month ago or 6 weeks ago. I can't remember if it was here on track or somewhere else. A great guy.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah, no, he's always a fun guy, and hopefully we can get to do that soon. Next time, if you're willing to pay, you can come too.
We'll see how the night goes.
All right. Yeah, perfect. Looking back at what we had on our last race card Tuesday and just some, highlights of what took place. Well, we know Louis Waugh had himself a night. I know he ended up not being Randy's star of the card. He's been star of the card many times. Yep. He went to Dave Keys, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah,
his
first-time starter was able to get the job done. But as far as what took place on Tuesday, well, Louis Waugh, the hot hands, he had 4 wins on the program. I think 3 of those were the grassroots.
That's correct, yeah.
Leveled. James McDonald, Nick Galucci, they had a pair of wins together in the grassroots, one on the trotting side and one on the pacing side of things. That early pick 5, how close were you to connecting on that?
I think I missed one leg, I believe.
Oh, yeah. 20 grand.
But I mean, it was the that Dave Maneri paid dime better. Jumped it off never was able to kind of get going, and I think a lot of people were single to him.
Yeah, and then the high 5, as we just talked about with changes, didn't go the other night, so continues to grow. We're already up to $158,000 in there, and now is when we can maybe start seeing it jumping up in the $15,000-$20,000 range each night if it doesn't go.
I think our eyes are going to be glued to maybe if we're going to see a mandatory potentially coming up over the next couple of weeks. I know they like to typically point it towards some of our big stakes
marquee nights,
and obviously next week being the Mohawk Million night, the Metro, I could see them kind of making it a mandatory that day, but just something to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, outside of years where we play host to the Breeders' Crown, which obviously we do have this season, it's our richest night in Canadian racing.
Yeah, it's going to be a big card. I'm so looking forward to it. Of course, we're going to get a chance to see some eliminations and some horses that are eligible that are going straight to the final, but it's always a great night. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and before the pregame show on Monday here, and I don't know the exact time just yet, but we're going to be conducting the post draw for the Mohawk Million. Okay. So Jim Gillespie will join me here in studio, and we'll do that post draw for the Mohawk Million. Then the rest of that card, well, some of the finals we'll know actually after this weekend, but then the rest of that card will be conducted on the Tuesday morning. As we look at tonight, what do we have in store? Talked about it. It's a Thursday. We don't necessarily have it reserved for Grand Circuit, but we do have some Grand Circuit races tonight. The Champlain for the 2-year-old trotters. I don't know. Maybe some of these are ones we're going to see next week in the Million. Who knows? We don't know the complete details. Again, we'll have to wait till Monday. But race 3 is the first division. The other one coming up in race number 8, and then also throughout the card in races 5 and 10. Grassroots for the Thrill Trotting Colts and Geldings. But what's important about this is that's the final leg for them.
Okay.
So I didn't dig into the leaderboard just yet. I used to like to do that to see, where's the pressure on? Who's maybe on the cut line, right? Because they don't, I understand, I don't think they do semifinals anymore where it's, top 20. I think it's just you either qualify for the championship or the consolation.
Yeah, it's what I was looking at even coming into tonight. I know there are a couple of horses in some of these divisions that I think are, cutting it close, and I think it's going to come down to who finishes ahead of who as they secure a spot into the final. So, it's go time tonight.
Yeah, and if you want to have a look at those standings, the Ontario Sire Stakes website, some great info on there to see. So, a couple of divisions of that. The card as a whole tonight.
Yeah, I like
pretty
it
good for Thursday,
for
right?
Thursday, really is some stakes action, but even those grassroots fields, they're pretty competitive. Those are the types of races I love to handicap.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of grassroots coming up in the next few days. So let's dive into the card. John's got a bunch of replays that he wants to dial up to make a case for some of his horses that he's going to be utilizing, especially in these popular multi-legs. We'll start our coverage in race 3. That is the first of 2 on our co-featured events, the Grade 3 Champlain for the 2-year-old trotters. It's an open event, but both divisions, no fillies in there. So we've got, all boys. I just saw Domenico Cesare coming in. Always nice to see him in town. And we know every time he comes here, what does he bring? He brings quality.
Yep.
Right? Always. I know this one here is KR Breeding. Also out of Connecticut, but Lindy Farms, always some really good ones there as well. Mother's Money, is that one you're factoring in?
One that I used underneath. I
Okay.
mean, one that I thought put forth a pretty good effort in a non-wagering affair in that kindergarten leg, but he's been racing some tough ones, but I prefer a couple others in here a little bit more.
Yeah, what about Land the Plane? I mean, he's only 2 races into his career. Now he gets a pretty stiff test.
Yeah, this is going to be a big step up, but I think that he's willing to handle that step up. This was a big purchase here too. Again, just over $83,000. A son of Tactical Landing that I think has raced really, really well last time out. So I think given the tries that we've seen in some of those, his first 2 career starts, I think he's ready to step up here.
Yeah, and I think he's been well taken care of by Jody. I mean, in both of those races, he hasn't been taxed too much. No. He kind of got things pretty easy. I mean, you can see the fractions he's had to go in the first 3 panels of both races, and it's left him with some energy on the end. And now he comes in not only with this win, but with some confidence too.
And took on some older rivals here in this contest as well.
Yeah, he was the only 2-year-old in here, right?
And you could see him just kind of motoring on the outside. You kind of figure, is he even going to get there? Dale Spence's charge looked pretty good on the outside, but look at this guy trot. And finishing a nice second was It's Not My Vault, who came back with a nice win the other night. But the body language of this colt and Jody was really, really strong. And you know what? He steps up in company, but again, it's not about stepping up. Sometimes it's how you look, coming into these big stakes events. And I think this Carl Jamieson trainee is sitting on a pretty good effort here tonight. But I think there's some other rivals in here that merit a lot of respect as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have necessarily predicted Land on the Plane would be the morning line favorite.
Yep.
But he is. I mean, others do come in with maybe some quicker times, but based on what we've seen from him, he's certainly suggesting he's got more to offer.
Big time. I'm curious to see where he's going to get away off the car from the inside draw. I mean, we saw him get away 6th last time out. I think he can push out of there, but he made some breaks in those qualifying tries, and I think that he's gotten around the track really nicely. I was really impressed on August 19th when it got a little bit dicey at the head of the lane. There was a chance that maybe he could have gone off stride in that spot, and he looked really professional because there was a couple of other horses who were kind of getting a little bit too close or maybe veering out. I thought this colt has looked really, really professional in his first 2 outings, and but yeah, there's a lot of ones who merit respect. I mean, Captain Code, I thought that was a nice qualifying try, and I think he's got a post advantage here in this spot as well.
And you know what? I like that they didn't take it easy with him in the qualifier. No. I don't mean like they went to the well by any means, but they just, let's just romp with him. Right? Go and do that, and maybe it's going to help him out from a mindset standpoint. The Luke Blade training Tavern on the Green, we've seen him in contests where, there was somewhere he's been shuffled, and he comes on through. He's got ability, and then good to see him bounce back at Grand River. He was 3rd there behind the Green Gazoo, but I don't know what happened to him in the Wellwood final.
Not sure.
Just not his night,
No,
right?
It just wasn't his night, but to your point, again, bounce back with a much more improved effort, and this is one that has been right there in most of his starts, and I think is going to continue to get better.
All right, so there's a look at the selections. Everybody on this board going the direction of Land the Plane in here, so could very well be the clear choice in the wagering. Are you all in on him in the pick 5?
All in.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, so just going to take a stand on him. That's race number 3. We head over to race 4 next. Pick 6 gets underway here. We'll stay with the trotters. 5 and under, nominators of 1 in this spot here. We've got a group of 10, and I know you've got a couple of replays, and I'm glad you're sending in the one of Florida Guy, because Florida Guy, I know he didn't win here in his Mohawk Park debut for Katerina Wozniak, but he won his debut at Georgia and at a massive price. But I think from what he showed us, at least let me know that was no fluke that he won in Georgia.
No, it really wasn't, and he had a bad trip last time out as well. I mean, he had an outside draw, got away towards the back of the pack. This guy had some trot in that outing. Of course, came out of the same race from Land the Plane. Probably a replay that we're going to queue up once again, but we're going to be focusing on this Kat Bosniak trainee here in the spot. And you could see him, Chad. He's 4th over on the outside, and Sammy Filion came in and got a chance to drive this guy yet again. And, he's just going to be tipping wide, but again, he's got a lot of lengths to make up, and a lot of horses got some pretty favorable fractions in this spot. You could see Jody's charge, obviously. Land the Plane, who we saw just moments ago, he got into gear. But I like the way Florida Guy got into gear as well. I mean, this was a horse who was moving forward. A horse that I thought put forth a really, really good effort at Grand River to make up all that ground, especially with the shorter track. And in this spot, I thought he responded really, really well. And I think that start over the big track, given what he showed in this effort, I think he's going to be even sharper tonight, and I really like the post relief that he's going to pick up here in this spot.
And again, Land the Plane wins the race. Yep. He's going to be the favorite likely in a Champlain. I know he's 2 and these are 3-year-olds, but still, just for the sake of kind of talking, we're going to have a look here at Just Bank. And this was one that you entertained as well at a price, and I mean, he came pretty close.
Yeah, this was one I was intrigued with, right, in this spot. I mean, I wish he finished off some of those miles over at Grand River because he was getting rated perfectly, but Jody left out with this guy aggressively, and then we saw 3 different lead changes here in this race, and he shook loose late in the mile, and you could see Jody's trying to put him in gear here, just kind of get him straightened out a little bit, though he's kind of running in a little bit, but this guy was trotting forward when he was straightened out, and I like this effort last time out. And again, a horse who gets a better draw to work with. Jody's going to be reacquainted with this guy with a much better draw. You have to figure he could be the one cutting the mile in this spot.
And I think for both horses, Just Bank, the mare, and Florida Guy, just to get experience on this track helps you.
Big time.
Right? Especially coming from a smaller track. I know a 5/8, but still smaller than what they're going to do here. And a lot of times it's that lengthy stretch. I would say more so for Just Bank because she's one that's used to being on the front. But here, again, I thought Jody did a great job to make sure he didn't have her necessarily cutting it. He just had her up close, and then she was trotting pretty well in the end of it.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if she is going to be cutting the mile. I'm curious to know if she's going to have enough left late in the stretch. That's the biggest thing. I'm hoping that a Florida Guy can be the one following Just Bank, but again, Just Bank's been ultra consistent so far this year. I mean, hitting the board in each and every one of her starts.
All right, that's race number 4 to start the pick 6. We move on to race 5. We've got a pair of divisions in the OSS Grassroots. It's leg 5. It's the final leg. Last chance for some of these maybe to get the needed points to get into the championship at the grassroots level or into the consolation. And there's a big difference monetary-wise because the championships go for $75 and the consolation's $25. Still good money regardless, but again, a pretty big swing there, especially if you think you've got one that can compete at the very best level. Nickel and Dime has been a fantastic acquisition for Mark Etzel and his team, already winning 3 times and becoming more confident, all the time. And Nickel and Dime, not all that long ago, we would have been like, okay, he's an player to use underneath in the grassroots, especially let's say into the championship. Now, depending on what happens tonight, if it's a good performance, he's going to go into that contest as one of the top choices.
I would have to say, I thought he was going to get beat last time out, given what we saw early on in the mile. Travis opted to try and find a spot early on, and he just had to keep driving on.
What a big trip.
I thought that, maybe that was going to leave him a little bit weak late, and you could see a couple of rivals. I think James might have been driving Mr. Pasadena in that spot, and he took a shot a little early, and Nickel and Dime just fended everybody off. Randy's kind of talked about it. When horses come up alongside of him, he just gets a little bit stronger. And we saw that when
pushes him on.
Scott Young in his charge, it was that Gerard Demers trainee. He made a miscue, but he looked him in the eye a few starts ago, and he just kept, he was ready for it, and he just kept trucking along. And this is a, Mark Etzel trainee who, since entering his barn, has just found a little bit more, and this is one who's got a lot of confidence. But Sunday Shoes, how good was he in his first start for the new connections last time out?
Yeah, and he wasn't even one that necessarily needed to improve because Vanderkamp had done a nice job. He'd already shown his ability. He shows that he could hang with any of these in here. And it was a good effort outside of just not winning. It was still a good effort. And Sunday Shoes, I mean, he'll have to be on his game again because he's got to navigate the 10-hole tonight.
Yeah, big time. And he finished up really well late in the mile. I mean, you could see right now, James isn't following the best of cover. He's 4th over, and you could see, right now he's going to be tipping this guy out. And he's going to take a shot. But Fireflies and Thunder was really big in this effort. I mean, this is a horse who looked like he was going to give up. And he kept trucking along, and he kept fighting, and he ended up hanging on for the narrow score. But James is starting to ask Sunday Shoes to get into gear right now at the halfway down the stretch, and this guy starts trotting. I mean, I thought he was going to get there in this spot, but he just falls short of the wire. But tell you what, I mean, this was a great effort here, and I don't know if we're going to get anywhere close to that 10-1 morning line. I know the outside draw is going to hurt him, but I think he's still one that merits a lot of respect and is in with a big shot, especially with the way he finished off last time out.
Yeah, and I'll also say that Fast Snap last time out, he was one of, I think, 2 horses in that race that were adding Lasix that were intriguing to us because we know what he's capable of. If this gets him back on track, and I know he missed a check, but he was moving well on the end of it. right? And he's got a good draw to work from here tonight. Maybe another one to toss in as a possibility. But a couple going inside with nickel and dime. You're willing to try Flanagan Sunshine. Tell me about him.
You know what? 2 starts back, we saw him go barefoot all around, and he put forth a winning effort. I thought he raced well last time out, and now we're seeing him add Lasix. I made him a worth a look play because I was curious to see if they were going to go barefoot yet again in this spot. Again, he's one of those trotters that's kind of hovering around whether he's going to make it or not. I think he's sitting 10th in the standings right now.
Is he? Okay.
So he needs a pretty good effort here. He's got a good draw to work with, so I just wasn't sure maybe if they were going to opt to go that direction from the shoeing because it turned out to be a winning approach 2 starts back.
Yeah, I was a week early on him. I picked him the week where he tired to 9th. Randy said in the past he won't mind a horse that gets sent down the road and maybe backs up, but then he'll come back stronger the next start. We
actually saw that a few instances over the last week or so with some horses over the past few cards. But, he's got a good draw to work with, but he's not one that you can go all in on because this is a pretty wide open group.
Yeah, could get a price here. All right, that's race number 5. Back half of the card, race 6 starts the late pick 5. We'll skip over that for now. We're going to go to race 7 next. Fillies and Mares on the pace, 5 and under. Nominators of 1 group in here. We've got a full field of 10. The morning line favorite, the 6, Whole Lot of Rosie. 1 of 2 that Chantel Mitchell sends out. Both of them figure to be contenders in here if they show up with what we know they're capable of. Hot Cocoa was one that last time raced pretty well. I know she's now going to shed the tag, but I find that to be a positive move on her part. I don't think anybody stands out.
No.
Right?
No, nobody stands
Just
out.
that kind of nominators of 1.
Yeah, and speaking of Hot Cocoa, one that I'm going to give a shot here in this spot because I liked her effort last time out. But you mentioned Whole Lot of Rosie. This is a better spot for her. I know the most recent efforts, I think that's just tougher company that she's been taking on. I think she'll have an opportunity to put forth a good effort. And, Show Me the Money Deo, another Chantel Mitchell trainee in here. I think that could maybe, if she puts forth the kind of effort that we saw 2 starts back, I think she fits this group better. I mean, she was a winner at this level last time out in her career debut. So one that I might, give a shot on some pick 5 tickets as well.
Yeah, you want to look back at Hot Cocoa and that latest effort. It was a lengthy hiatus. I mean, she hadn't raced since February. She comes back. She stays with a claiming tag in there. I mean, absolutely no factor early on, but that was kind of a good thing because they went a quick opening quarter. They were slow on the end of it, and it just sort of fell into her lap to get a good piece.
Yeah, Travis Henry getting away last in this effort. Again, it was her first start in quite some time, and you could see now he angles her out at the head of the lane and just says, let's see what you got. And this mare starts doing some pacing here in this spot, and she makes up a lot of ground, and she looked good doing it. You could see a lot of them just trying to gain, but some of them not moving as well as others. But Hot Cocoa, Travis Henry, and this Francis Dumichel trainee were moving really, really well late in the mile, and this is a field who, right now needs to kind of regain some confidence, and I'm willing to take a horse that's going to be sharper, back on a regular rotation here, and is coming off a really good effort, and not to mention, she already has 5 lifetime victories.
Yeah, 3 different opinions here. Yeah. You're going Hot Cocoa. Garnett's going to try the 9 better double down with Louis Waugh, which, by the way, I can tell you in the opener, Louis picked up the drive on that 9 horse.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one on the outside that was in search of the driver, Louis Waugh is on the 9, my classy queen in race 1 for those of you wanting to play that early pick 5. Now you know who's in there. All right, so it looks like maybe another competitive affair in race number 7, one where it would be tough to accept a short price.
It really
right?
would be, yeah.
Take a price on someone.
You have to, I think.
Yeah.
It's a tough race. I went 3 deep in the pick 5.
Okay, over to race number 8, second division of the Grade 3 Champlain Stakes for the Tyrrell Open Trotters. We've got a field of 7 in here, and I think we've got some that are intriguing. I mean, you've got Strobe Light, who is, 16,000 isn't pennies. Mm-hmm. But it's cheap in this day and age as far as a yearling price. And, I mean, he's more than paid his way back for Bearjean and company, and now coming off of a win. That's a morning line favorite. The Green Gazoo is good. You've got Per Emblem with one that obviously has tackled some good company south of the border. Green Arrow Hanover in there. And then Dagfinn Henriksen. I mean, yeah, although he hasn't been poetry in motion, and it might have been both starts he made breaks after the wire.
Correct.
Nixon Vixen, I mean, again, if he can completely, and Dagfinn's one of the best at figuring out, if he can square that away, I mean, this guy's winning with hitches in his gate, let's say.
Well, that's the positive, right? You have to hope that he can kind of figure it out, because as the competition gets tougher, you want to try and avoid maybe some of the quirks. But again, to your point,
he's talented, right?
He's talented. He's got the speed. And again, despite all that, 2 trips into the winner's circle in both of his lifetime tries. So he's one that intrigues me. I know Garnett's going to him on top, but you mentioned Kingman as well, making his second start for the new trainer. good effort last time out, but probably should have finished it off. I don't know if he just got a little bit green when he cleared in that outing, but one that I think can definitely improve.
Pretty slow early.
Yeah.
Right.
And, Strobel, you mentioned him. Tyler Borth obviously co-owning another one in that spot. James McDonald picking up the drive in that outing. And he put forth a nice effort, but, I mean, the last time we saw him at the Wellwood, he was a really good third against, maybe a couple Colts that have shown a little bit more early on, and he really held his own in that spot. So he was sitting on a big effort as well.
Yeah, no, Ben's been high on him, and for good reason. He had a sharp eye picking this guy out. He's done well. Green Arrow Hanover, you want to look back at his most recent race where he was fourth based on the line. I mean, is that a trouble trip?
Yeah, trouble trip indeed. Yeah, I mean, this was a horse who was taking on older company. I mean, he was a 2-year-old who found himself against some older rivals in that most recent spot. And, Bob kind of just, floated him out of there. You could see him right now as they're turning for home. Really no real estate for him to kind of go anywhere. So he's just going to commit to a trip up the wood and hope that maybe he can either find a seam and just see if things can materialize for him. And he starts to move forward here in this spot, Chad, and you could see him. He's trying to commit to that inside lane, and here comes Trevor Henry, and he also wants that inside lane, and he just gets it just before him, and now you see Bobby just kind of check his charge right now. He gets shut off in that spot, and he's got to start angling him all the way back out again, and this is a colt that I think was moving forward late in the mile, and we spoke about it in his Wellwood try. I think Randy and I have. We expected more from him, given what we saw early on. He didn't have as much pop late in the stretch. I thought that was a really, really good effort, and I think it gave us an indication that he's going to be sitting on a bounce-back effort in this stakes event.
Yeah, I mean, this race filled with a strong local contingent, but you talk about the lone horse that's coming in from out of town, Kingman, and for this year specifically, I mean, when you're racing in the New Jersey Sire Stakes, look at the company that he's had to keep when you think Ardon and what he's done. Apex, who arguably could be considered the top trotter.
I would say,
in the
as
division,
well.
Diabolic Hill, Franny Stovey's been fantastic, and some others. So they've a real strong crop coming out of Jersey this year.
Yeah, big time. He looked like I said, it looked like he was going to be a winner in that New Jersey Classic event, and it was a non-betting affair in that start, and Nick Snacken was able to just kind of come from a long way and pick him off. Looked like maybe he just got a little bit lost out there because he built up a pretty good lead halfway down the lane, but still a nice showing from him. I remember watching this guy qualify a couple of times, Chad, and Trond was sitting behind him, and he had the Telestar bike, and they were just okay efforts. They went to the modern bike, and this was a horse who put forth a pretty good effort in his first lifetime start at a pretty good number. So, I mean, this guy's got some talent. Just like I said, just looked a little green in that outing. But
yeah, is this one that got sold?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay,
and,
so it was a purchase.
First class mass, though, shoeing change. This was one that I didn't factor in, but he had no business being fourth in that effort at Grand River, and he was doing some trotting late in the mile. So one that has always showed good speed late.
Okay, that's race number 8, the second grade 3 Champlain. We'll skip over 9. Let's go to the finale on the card. Race 10, jackpot high 5, 158,000 plus in carryover money. It's the second grassroots division. Tyler Borth driving the 6 J-Port Cash in this spot. Is this one as evenly matched as you feel the other one is?
No, I think this one is more wide open, I would say. I mean,
wow.
You know what? I would say there's a horse that I really like in here, I should say. So I think that I feel confident about taking a shot, but I think they're both pretty evenly matched. I think the other one might have a little bit more, horses that are maybe racing a little bit sharper at this current point, but this one's pretty wide open because I think there's a lot of horses that maybe need to find some confidence, in this spot.
Yeah, where did you end up going?
I went to Alimony Mike.
Alimony Mike, you want to look at his latest?
Yep, I do, and I thought that was a trouble trip last time out, and you kind of alluded to it.
Yeah, he was the other one. He was
the other one adding Lasix here, and I thought this was a much improved effort by this guy. I mean, he tried the gold earlier on this year, it just didn't really work out in that spot, but you could see Trevor pushes this guy out of there. He was 54-1. You could see Call Me Parker's on the lead. And, Doug's coming first over with his charge. And there's Dea sitting second over as well. But look at Trevor Henry and, Alimony Mike looking for some racetrack. And he knows at this point he's not going to find a seam when he moves off the inside. So what does he do, Chad? He's got to move out even further here in this spot. And by this point, as he starts to get his charging gear, I mean, the wire's quickly approaching, and there it is. But this was a horse that's moving forward late in the mile. I'm willing to take a shot on this guy. I really like him here in this spot. That effort first time on Lasix was the best I've seen from him in quite some time, and I think he's going to be even sharper coming into tonight.
If I could toss a price out there, Wendell Blue Chip, okay? I know it hasn't been a successful teaming just yet, but Ben Bergeron, one of the best at working out kinks, generating speed out of trotters. One thing I will say, I know he made a break in his latest. He gets a shoe change tonight, but after that, I mean, he trots home in 27, flat. I mean, when you can do that, again, you've got ability.
Yep.
And I just wonder, when. I think it's not if. I think it's a matter of when Ben's going to get this guy back on track.
Well, we saw it last year, right? As a rookie, it just hasn't really worked out so far as a sophomore. But the ability's definitely there, and tonight's a big night for him.
All right, that's a look at the card, or at least the majority of it. Of course, you've got a couple of opportunities to play the Pick 5. The early one, the more popular, because it's guaranteed at $75,000. John always likes to put together, hopefully, winning tickets. What'd you do here early on?
I went 3 deep here in this first leg. I found this leg to be tricky. I think you could even go more than just 3. I'm a little bit intrigued by this Greg McNair trainee making his lifetime debut here in this spot. Her lifetime debut, Maspar. She looked like she was going to grab a piece. Chris Matthews was aboard this Greg McNair trainee last time out. And she was, she had some horses around her, and she just jumped it off just as they were turning for home. One that I think could bounce back here with a bigger effort. I think there's added appeal now with Doug McNair aboard. Up to Laura Hanover, though, I don't know what to make of her in this spot. I mean, she was trotting in 55. Against tougher company, and then, finishes 4th in a 59-mile last time out. Is she just one that maybe is a little bit better just following along? But, I thought she was going to be a main player there if the horse that I liked jumped it off. I think it was that's Sean Stacey trainee, Calix.
Oh, Calix, yeah. Out to qualify.
Yeah, and, one that I thought was probably going to be a big factor and, just put forth the 4th effort. But she was tiring late in that mile. So one that I think has got the ability. And look a Diamond, one that I have in there as well. She's currently the 2-1 choice, but I'm going to go a couple singles in the middle legs, Chad. I'm going all in on Alanda Plain. Yeah. And I'll single Florida Guy. I think it's between him and Just Bank, but I'm going to go all in on Florida Guy and hope that he can continue to build off those tries. In the last leg, I feel pretty confident about my 3. Nickel and Dime's been sharp. Flanagan Sunshine, I think, has a pretty good draw adding Lasix. I can't leave off Sunday Shoes. I mean, outside draw or not, the way he was moving late in the mile, if he works out a trip, he's going to be tough.
Yep, yeah, I could see that. Then the late one, some singles again. So you've got coverage early, then you start to thin it out.
Yeah, so coverage in the first 2 legs. Gentrify should be the one to beat, but I think some other ones might be able to outposition her early on, and she might, have to work out another tough trip. She's not the easiest one to get off the gates, is Gentrify, and, leg 2, I will go 3 deep. You mentioned it in race number 7, Chad. That's a really tough race, a competitive event with no clear standouts. I'm going to take a bit of a shot. I'm going to single Green Arrow Hanover, one that I have pegged as a rebound, and hope that he can get the job done, maybe kind of extract some value in that Champlain division. Blinded by Delight should be the 6, not the 5 in race 9. That was an error on my end. It should be Blinded by Delight. She was the 5-hole last time out, so I kind of was remembering her effort last time out, so it should read the 6 in race number 9. That was
Jeremy
my
will switch that. We know that.
Yeah, but she was really good.
There it is.
They're quick on the fly. And last leg, Alimony Mike, my spot play. Just take a stand on a horse that I think can show major improvement.
All right, so those are John's thoughts on his early and late plays for the Pick 5s with the 2 opportunities coming up. Speaking of coming up, how about this weekend? As we continue on with Grand Circuit, it's been the last several weekends. We've got more. Well, it starts even tonight, but we get into the Friday program. Tomorrow, we've got the Grade 3 Champlain for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. One Bell trying to bounce back. I'm sure you're probably going to try and touch base with Matt Back, see what went on.
Absolutely. I mean, never looked comfortable. I mean, she didn't get a chance to clear, but never quite looked comfortable as she was getting there. And of course, I mean, she's not coming home in 33 seconds because that's what she is. It's definitely something want to miss there.
Some other good ones in there, including Bingo Night.
Yep, and Daenerys I'm looking forward to watching as well. Another Domenico Cecere trainee. This is one that I think could put forth a pretty good try. How about Courtney's Promise too? And this is a big step up for that Rick Zeron filly.
Yeah, and Rick's going to stay in the bike.
Yep.
He says, you know what, I know her best. I'm going to stay in the bike, and we've talked about it. The older brother's got a big date coming up here on the 20th as well.
Yep, big time.
Landing on time. Champlain Stakes for the 2-year-old fillies in race number 7. Here you've got Shimmering Hanover is the morning line favorite. 0 for 5 so far is the daughter of Captain Corey, but she hasn't missed the board either.
No.
Right? She's been there. It'd be a good time to break the maiden.
Big time. I think this is a good group for her, too, to kind of put forth a pretty good effort, good draw to work with. I could see an improved effort from her tomorrow night.
Yeah, and speaking of Zeron, I'll have the red.
Yep.
I mean, she's proven she's quick as well. Just maybe got into some braking issues lately, but, last time out was able to re-qualify her in that spot. So we've got some good ones to watch there as well. And then also on the program, the Elegant Image. 11 horses were dropped in the box, so they're going to go straight to a final. And we've got an Elegant Image eligibles. They're going to be competing, including our Duchess, who's been here, and she's been notching the Grand Circuit wins lately. Jody, I believe Jody drove her too, right?
He's going to be reacquainted with her.
So he's familiar with her. Lasting Dream, obviously, in there, and Global Heritage.
Nice group.
Was the one that beat Lasting Dream
in that Zed Athena, the supplement.
Yes, the lone supplement for that event. And then out of town, if you want to take in some action, again, you can watch and wager right through the HPI Bet website and your app at Hoosier. They are playing host to the big 2-year-old finals as well for the Jim Doherty. In here, first off, and these are winning your ends for the Breeders' Crown.
Big time.
Right?
So that's a big opportunity for them to pick up a big stakes victory, but there's a lot more at stake as well.
Yeah, and we could be seeing some of these in the million next week as well. I think the Philly one a little more, deeper, or not deeper, a little more competitive. As far as wide open, I think you can make a case for a lot of them. Plus, you've got some of those that have been campaigned in Indiana that are going to test these kind of waters, because there's no limbs.
No,
not like it's been in the past. I know when the Meadowlands used to host it was like that, but now it looks like it's based on earnings.
I think so.
Right? Yeah. So you enter and you get into there based on earnings. As for the Houghton last year, the Houghton winner Maryland was able to take that win and come here and then score in the million. Dunn's got a pretty good one here too again.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a out of mission brief.
Yep.
And this is one that showed in his qualifying tries that he was going to be a main factor in that division earlier on this year. Obviously the breeding as well, but I think this one shows a little bit more talent than some of the other ones that came out of mission brief. This one seems to be this one shows a lot of talent, and one we could potentially be seeing next week as well. I know Marcus Melander kind of flirted with the idea of bringing him to Canada for the Mohawk Million. So I guess it all depends on what takes place tomorrow, how it shapes out, and how he's feeling after the race.
Yeah, and also tomorrow, not that it's a wagering thing, but you can watch and enjoy it on the live stream for Mohawk, the qualifiers. Ardon is here qualifying, so we know he's sticking in town for something. I don't know whose slot they are using. We'll know more of that for the million on Monday, but Nijinsky is back out as well, qualifying, I think, some others as well. But anyway, those are just kind of a couple that just off the top of my head. That's tomorrow morning, I believe, 9:30 a.m. Then Saturday, we've got some great action right here at Mohawk Park. I know, short eliminations, but we know we'll get the full fields when we get into the final. So, this isn't maybe what you're looking forward to from a betting standpoint, but still great races, still great talent on tap here. I know you were happy when you saw the entries that Luadipa's here.
I'm really excited to watch her compete here. Things didn't work out in that Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final. I just don't know maybe what went amiss. I'm going to maybe hopefully get a comment from Team Burke there on what went happen with their homebred. Full sister to Looks Good and Lulu. This is one a filly who's done some great things so far. And James McDonald's going to pick up the drive on this Ron Burke trainee, because Ronnie Wren's going to be in Indiana. He's driving the morning line favorite in that Philly event, I believe, Atlantic Summer.
Oh, yeah,
and then he's got Who's Blue's Eyes, I think, from the second tier.
Second tier, yeah.
So, a good opportunity for James to sit behind this Philly one that I think has just got so much ability. But this is a really nice group, too.
Perfect Thought's the stable horse, right?
Yeah, she's been awesome.
I think she's just getting better.
Absolutely.
I like the build on her, too.
Big time.
The other elimination for the She's a Great Lady. Here you've got Dea, never worse than second. Jen Tilley's the morning line favorite. Yannick is in town, so he'll be doing the driving on that Burke trainee. And she's really been right there, too.
Yep.
Most of her starts, again, I know the connection's very high in her. And then locally, we're very well represented there. And I'm a fan of the Sangria Summer.
Big time. Yeah, she's getting better.
Yeah. If she catches up, I think she's one that can make some noise. But I just like what I'm seeing from her. So top 5 in each. It's only one Philly's going to get eliminated, but the beauty of the eliminations as well, the winners will be assured of drawing 2 to 6 on the gate. As far as the Metro, my favorite race of the year, same as the She's a Great Lady, just 12 of them were dropped into the box. We've got a pair of 6-horse eliminations. The undefeated Bojangles headlines the first elim. Al Papi, did set a world record not all that long ago, but then the stablemate erased it a couple of weeks later. But, he's been fantastic. Sweet Love and Lou here locally, even Redley and Rockman. Fragment coming in the New York Sire Stakes champ, I believe. In there, but Bojangles obviously the headliner in that one. The other one, and you and I, from a racing standpoint, we want to see both of these undefeated horses continue to win. and then meet up
That would be
with their
awesome.
perfect records on the line with the big money. So Frantic Hanover, the son of Stay Hungry, has been fantastic. But look at us again locally here. I mean, Till the Cows Come Home has been awesome.
Yep.
For Team Jameson, he's had to race kind of in the shadow of Bojangles, but he's had his opportunities and taken advantage. No, Waitlist is one that I still think is, there's more there to offer. Looking forward to it.
Big time. And like you said, just hopefully those two colts. I mean, if they do go undefeated, it's another thing to build off of, right? I mean, these are two colts that have really caught our attention. And, Bojangles has been super. And this guy's going to get a chance to come here, Frantic Hanover, and show, on Canadian soil what people, in the U.S. have been, and harness racing fans as well, have been raving about as well.
And then we've got a final on Saturday. It is the Milton, and I mean, one of the best rivalries in all of racing will be continuing, renewed again. Twinbee Joe Fresh, the defending champ, up against our local princess and Sylvia Hanover. Sylvia has been fantastic this year. Twinbee Joe Fresh, trying to kind of get back to her winning ways. She's had a couple of qualifiers.
Yep.
She's looked sharp.
Big time.
In those. Now, she's the slight morning line favorite. I think 4-5 versus Evil Money. Is that what they did?
Correct.
Yeah, in there. And then, look, there's a lot of talent in behind that, but obviously they're the mares in the spotlight.
I think the appeal, though, this time versus the Roses Are Right is these two mares are both really on their game. Versus the Roses Are Right, I think Sylvia still hadn't really got things going. But now both these mares, they're in tip-top shape, and this is what's going to make this event even better.
Sean Stacy brought it to my attention the other day, talking about how eerily similar their resumes are. For two great mares. I mean, we've seen so many great pacey mares over the years, but it's just amazing that you get two of them that started in the same season and just continue.
Yeah, big time. And it's just been fun to watch these two compete. And Dexter Dunn's lone drive tomorrow night, or Saturday, I should say. Just the
is it?
Just the Milton final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We know that he'll be in the afternoon at Yonkers.
Yonkers, yep.
They've got a big day headlined by the International Trot, $1 million US up for grabs. Lexus Cody, the fastest trotter in Canada. He has drawn the rail. The half might not be his forte, but at least he's got the rail in the mile and a quarter event and representing Canada, and wishing him all of the best. Diatos Kronos in there, Periculum. Obviously, he's got the second tier. Now, Southwind Coors, yesterday, I think you were mentioning to me that he drew in, so there was a scratch, and he drew in, to post position 7.
How sharp has this guy been lately? I mean, he was second in that event at Scioto as well to a Hill Exotic, who's been razor sharp, but tell you what, Southwind Coors. Yeah, and Southwind Coors, I mean, we saw the talent here locally when he was a rookie and a sophomore, and he's continued against age horses to just keep doing some good things.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them there likely won't see the pylons.
Yeah, I would have to say.
How it goes. They've got a great undercard as well. You can, once again, you can watch and wager on the entire thing through hpibet.com. So looking forward to that in the afternoon. Canadian Trotting Classic, we don't have anything in regards to that, as we do have them going straight to the final. Actually, Emoticon Legacy, he might be out qualifying tomorrow too.
I think
that's a typical Luke Blay angle if there isn't an limit or whatever.
I think Maryland's qualifying Sunday at the Red Mile as she gears up for that final next week. I think landing on time's in to go Monday as well.
Oh, okay.
I think he's in an overnight race, gearing up for Saturday's final as well.
Yeah, so our richest night of racing here in Canada, coming up on September the 20th. Really looking forward to that. And then, of course, the big money game, but, our Canadian night, the Mohawk Million, but the Breeders' Crown that we'll have in late October.
It's big. I mean, we've got the Million night, and then we have obviously the super finals to look forward to, the grassroots final, the super finals. And it doesn't end just there. Like you said, we get to play host to the Breeders' Crown. I'm just really excited for the next several weeks.
Getting close to kicking off this Thursday card. I'm going to head upstairs. John's got you covered in studio. We've got a great program ahead. I'll leave you at the plays of the night while I make my way upstairs. Picture perfect out there tonight, John. I'm looking for you to go 4 for 4 here.
I'm hoping so. Appreciate it, Chad. And my best bet, Florida guy in race number 4, as I mentioned. I view it as a 2-horse affair, hoping he can get the job done there. I'll take a stand with him. My worth a look, Flanagan Sunshine. Was interested to see maybe what shoeing change, or if we were going to get a shoeing change on this guy, but he is adding Lasix. He's got a good draw to work with, and he's kind of on that cutoff line for that grassroots final. So we're going to need he's going to need a big effort here to secure a spot into the final. My rebound, Green Arrow Hanover. I liked his effort last time out as he gears up for this Champlain event tonight. And my spot play, Alimony Mike. I really liked his effort as he added Lasix in his most recent one that I'm willing to go and take an all-in approach on as we close out this program. We're going to get some other selections here from some resident handicappers. Garnet Barnsdale with a couple. Jess Bank is his spot play. I don't mind that. That mare is racing really well, but I'm going to take my shot with Florida guy. Kevin Plaucha, he's going to go with Show Me the Money Dale as a spot play. That filly back in a better spot where she was a winner in her career debut. And Garnet Barnsdale's best bet will be Blinded by Delight in race number 9. She's going to take heavy support in that contest. 3 minutes to go before we kick off this Thursday night program. Some highlighted by some stakes events and some competitive grassroots fields. Good luck.